Welcome back to The New Mechanic. My name's Randy and that's my E92 M3. And while it looks really good, I mean, just look at it. I just washed it and it glistens and I even did a little bit of spray wax. But this video is not about the E92 M3. Today's video is actually about our new project. That's right, we bought a short school bus. Yeah, so I've actually done a lot of work on this already, which I didn't really feel like filming because a lot of tedious work tearing everything out of the interior, working on the exterior panels, and frankly, I don't think anybody wanted to watch that whatsoever. So we took out the seats, we took out the flooring, which is plywood, and we have some patches that we gotta weld in. Took out the driver's seat, you know, we're just working on fixing up the rust, but what really is a big project now is that we're going to be working on raising the roof 1 whole foot. So today we are actually going to go ahead and start that. And I don't think it'll be that complicated, but it'll be tedious as there's going to be a lot of moving parts to get it to work. So school bus, it is made up of all these hat channels. So there's a hat channel there, there's one there, there's one right here. And what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna cut them in half, and we're gonna cut this right around here. And by cutting those hat channels, we're gonna be able to split right here. This part's gonna stay down and this part's gonna go up. And yeah, we should be able to do a roof raise that way. So follow me on this journey and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with this fiberglass back panel. What we need to do is take the Sawzall and cut it in half. And this is gonna be held up just fine by all the hat channels that are inside. But what we need to do is just split this. So we're gonna cut it here. We're also gonna do it on the other side. And I'm gonna use this as a guide so that I can get a pretty smooth and straight cut. Also, because it's fiberglass, I'm gonna put long pants on, long sleeves, respirator, and a mask. That way, I don't fill up my lungs and get all itchy and all that good stuff, so yeah. All right, let's get started. A little bit of wave, but that's okay. We gotta knock this off with a grinder. Nice. 1/2 almost done. By the way, thank you, Jake, for loaning me your tools. I don't know why you keep loaning them to me because it takes me forever to get them back to you. But thank you, and Jake's my neighbor, so very much appreciate it. All right, next up, we need to cut this hat channel. This is the one that's the first hat channel, and this is the fiberglass, and then this is, you know, the side of the body. So what we need to do is cut this hat channel, and we're gonna try to do it right in line with where the fiberglass meets so that we can cut through the fiberglass as well. But we don't wanna cut through this metal here because this metal is gonna separate. This fiberglass will stay down, this will stay up, and this will stay down. So then these separate. So what I need to do is separate the fiberglass from the steel in the back. That way I can get my angle grinder in here, cut through all of it, and not hit this. So let's try that. Alright, I think I got just enough gap in there that I can go ahead and take my grinder, cut through, and not hit this. Definitely did not make it through. I'm gonna try a larger blade. Alright, well, I got through the hat channel. I don't think I made it through the fiberglass. Good news is we have enough of gap. I think I can use the Sawzall here. Alright, we're through. So, yeah, this side's done. We can go ahead and work on the other side, and then we have some sports that we're gonna weld in on the other side. Alright, next up, we're gonna go ahead and weld these inside. It's actually probably gonna be welded this way, but these are gonna go welded to the hat channels, and just 4 of them. So the 2 that we just cut, and then we'll do it again in the front. And that's gonna support the entire top while we're raising it. So what's gonna happen is we'll weld these to them, and then there's a nut here that screws up. So I'll go ahead and use a jack that has a 2x4 that goes to the roof. That's gonna actually lift it. And then this is what will give us the precision that we need to get exactly where we want and for it to be held in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld these in inside. All right, so tacked into place. I'm happy with the positioning. I'm almost wondering if I should go ahead and remove this and get it welded up. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do for right now. You'll see me later this evening, so I'll be in different clothes. But yeah, I think that turned out really good. We got 2 supports, we got all the fiberglass cut. Now what we're going to do is work on these front ones. There's one there, and there's one right over here. So this one won't be too bad. I'll probably just take the Sawzall and just cut straight through it all. We'll see though. And then over here, it's probably gonna be a little bit more complicated. I might have to just take the Sawzall and cut through the metal paneling, we'll see. And then we'll get those things welded in on both sides, and then we can go to town on cutting all the rest out. And there's, more over here on this side. And then the plan is we're actually gonna end up raising the doorway as well. So by cutting it fully off down here, this can go fully up. And then the plan is to cut in this corner up here, and then extend this up. This will stay here, and this roof up in the front will go up as well. So a lot to do, a lot to figure out, but I'm excited. So I'll see you this evening. All right, next up we're gonna cut this here. So there's a flat piece that goes right here. I'm gonna go ahead and grind off this bolt. So we're just gonna take it to this edge here and then cut this the whole way across, and gonna try not to hit this steel that's on this side. On the other side of here is the hat channel. So once we get all this done, then I'll go ahead and get the Sawzall and try to cut most of the hat channel. So yeah. Alright, so you can see where we just cut, and now I'm going to go ahead and take the Sawzall and cut across here. And I should be able to do it from outside. But I think I need to get this screw right here, and might be able to push this out. So we want to make a little gap here again so that we don't cut into this middle. Alright, right, next up, we gotta work on this one right here. So, a couple issues. We got some welds here and here, and in theory, this is gonna be completely split from that side. We still have to figure that out exactly, but for now, we do have to cut this, cut these out. There's another one up here. And then in theory, all this will just slide right up. This will also need to be cut, so we'll probably end up cutting it up here, and then there's that hat channel that will be cut on the bottom. But for now, we're gonna work on this, and yeah, so we gotta figure this out. And this is on the other side. And just to mention, we have another union of fiberglass to steel. So the hat channel runs right through here. And what we got to do is just cut straight across. And I mean, I'd like to spare the fiberglass if I could. And this, but I think it's going to be too difficult. So in theory, we're going to have to take this off. And hopefully, once I get this off, we can kind of figure it out from there. But yeah. Alright, so we still have work to do. Up here is the fuse box and fuse panel and whatnot. Right now it's unbolted, but we have this guy and this guy that we gotta cut out. Easiest path is to cut this guy right here and then cut the weld on the bottom down here. So, get some of these wires out of our way. And then we can go ahead and start chopping. That one's free, that will stay down. This will go up when we do the roof raise. So, if you haven't caught on, my whole plan of attack with everything is that it's either gonna go up or it's gonna go down. So we're just creating two shells, and then we'll splice them together. Maybe we'll chop it off halfway, so then when we go to weld it, it'll be in the middle. I won't have to deal with this. And worst case is, I can go ahead and cut this out once we're split. Alright, that one's separated too. Alright, see that one's separated? That one's separated. Now, there's steel on the bottom here, and then this is fiberglass, and then there's a little lip there. So on the outside, what I did was take out almost all the screws. A couple of them are stripped like that one. And I'm gonna then stick basically a screwdriver up through after I get out all the ones I stripped, and separate the fiberglass from the steel, which is glued together. So that's how this part of the shell will come apart. Most complicated sections over here, so we just got to figure that out. All right, so I just stood around for about 15 minutes trying to figure out what I want to do next. I should probably weld this one up with that support, and then we can go ahead and start chopping off this side, and then I think once the battery charges, we'll work on that side again. But for now, let's go ahead and weld this up. And I do apologize about the lighting. It's getting dark. The wife said she was gonna be working really late, so I'm working really late. So, all right, so this side of the bus is fully ready because I have that, and then I have that one, which are the main supports. So I think what we can do now is go ahead and start chopping all the four over here that are left. And yeah, so I'm kind of planning on just taking whatever cutting blade that I have, going straight in, cutting across. It's not gonna get the edges, so it's not gonna get it fully through because it's probably not long enough. But instead of flipping back and forth between a brand new one for each one, we're gonna use the used one, go through all four, and then we'll get a new one that's as large as possible, and hopefully we can get it cut. So if not, then we'll figure it out. Forgot to mention, precision doesn't matter that much in this phase. I am trying to stagger them, the cuts, so it's not a single fault line. But once it's raised, we're gonna have to flatten all these out so that they're nice and level for the new hat channels that I'll be welding in. So yeah, that's why it doesn't look like I'm measuring or doing anything, because I'm not, because I don't need to. So yeah, let's keep going. Nice. Good morning from Saturday. So, I'm gonna get back to work on this. Now we have a couple more over here. I'm just gonna try the, this guy real quick to see if there's any chance. Alright, this is very exciting. Now I can see what I'm doing. I can actually see there is a gap right here. So this is the hat channel, this is the steel part that wraps around. So I think I'm just gonna cut it right around here probably. And then there's a couple welds here, here, and up here. And then we can figure out, you know, how to separate this part from hat channel, which actually I don't even know if I will need to, but we'll see. So yeah, that was exciting and was definitely useful. All right. All right, so here's where we're at right now, and I'm really happy with the progress. We got all the screws that were at the top up here, the whole way around. There's only one hat channel that's on the inside right around here that we need to cut. And then in terms of the front, this right here, this section's honestly probably gonna be one of the hardest to figure out. There's like a U thing that's in there. I wanna save this piece because it actually extends past and sits on top of that U piece. But I can't really get a grinder up there very easily, so I don't know, we'll figure that out. And then after that, there's only two things left. It's the hat channels, which on this side, they're mostly cut through. We'll just have to make some space and then we can cut straight across. And then on the other side, we also have to cut those hat channels, but we're gonna probably have to drill out some of these screws because I ground them off, but there's not enough room there to pull the sheet metal out this way to get past it for everything to slide up, you know, past this bottom piece. So that's it. As far as I know and as far as I understand, that's what it'll take to raise the roof. So where do I want to start? Alright, back from lunch. Honestly, the only things we have left are to cut all these hat channels, and we have some screws on the outside that we may need to drill out, and then we just gotta build the rigging system for actually pushing the roof up. These are the supports that will hold it in place once it gets the proper height, and also keeping it from sliding off either way. And then we're gonna use a floor jack to actually push the roof. So I'm gonna build some stuff with wood to basically attach to the roof that we can push up. And I'll bring the floor jack in here, measure, cut this guy, and yeah, should be fun. While that battery is charging, can do a couple things. Clean up in here and also bring the jacks in, get the jacks prepped, get this wood link set to press up on the top. You don't want to watch another time lapse, do you? Alright. Alright, cleaned everything up. I got everything kind of into place. I have a couple more screws to run. Got to also screw this into the top pieces. And yeah, then we're good to cut all the hat channels and we should be able to separate it. Hopefully. All right, here's where we're at with this. So we got this spanning two members so that we can apply pressure to both sides. We'll see how it goes because I see this is bending a lot. I might need to put another 2x4 that is flat this way, right there. But I put a screw in here, and hopefully, if I were to remove the jacks, they would stay in place. So that's kind of why I did that. If something shimmies and shakes and for some reason these aren't, you know, attached fully, like there's no pressure, then hopefully they stay in place. And same thing over here. Put the screws, the last screws that were in, and then put a screw into here. And yeah, so we got the same situation. Now, we're gonna go ahead and finish up the hat channels. As you can see there, it's not fully cut through, so we're gonna try to make some space back there and then kind of come in from the side and cut it off. So, yeah. Well, I saw a storm rolling in, so I figured it'd be best just to clean up a little bit. So I put up the plastic. It literally just started raining and I just finished this, so that's great. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, and I've already done a little bit of prep work while the micro battery is recharging. So in here, I put some wood blocks in behind here so I can get at it from the side without gouging this. It is really bowed right now, that's okay. I got all those over there. I did not do any here because I only cut enough for one side at a time. So I already drilled out all the holes that were on the back side, so all we have left are to cut these, finish up cutting these, and cut the one that's up there. So then everything should move. So let's do that real quick. All right, it's split in two. In theory, it should come. We have two pieces, so hopefully it works. All right. Look at that gap. All right. That means left side's really good. So I'm gonna move that bolt up. All right, we got about 2 inches over here. Over there we don't got much movement, and that's okay, we'll figure it out. All right. No movement up here yet. We'll figure it out. Oh. Woo! That made a noise. We still have those wooden blocks, so that might have been part of what's clamping things, so I'm gonna work on tapping those out. Alright, let me show you a few things. Alright, so we got our gap here, our nice, perfectly flat, level cut. Yeah, I'm upset about that. But we got this to slip by. If you see that really closely, that was tucked underneath there. And then all the way down here, we got some movement as well. There used to be holes right there that you could see straight through, and you can't see straight through them anymore. So we gotta figure out how to get this to fully separate up here. It should be fully separated, but it's not sliding. That's okay. And then over here, let's see if any movement has happened. That has not moved at all. No movement. No movement. Okay, so this is not that surprising because there are a bunch of these screws that are here. So I'm wondering if I push this in and I use a screwdriver, I might be able to push that in and get them to slip by each other just a little bit. And then we'll work our way down. And hopefully, because there's pressure from the jack, hopefully it'll just keep working. Alright, so something over here is binding up. Because if I try to separate you, not much is happening. So, we gotta figure out where the problem is. Two by four over here is breaking on us, so probably should have put it the other direction. We have a tiny little gap here that we can go ahead and thread these. And we could actually put the jacks down and that'll stay in place. Our larger gap back here will stay in place. And our tiny little gap over here, we can do the same thing we did up front. Here's what I missed. This is a metal plate here. It's welded to the hat channel. And I wanted to keep this down. So I think I'm just gonna have to take the grinder and grind straight through here. All right, I think if we start jacking the jack. Whoa. All right side is fully separated. Left side, we still have some issues, but we might be able to pry it apart. We'll see. All right, we're making some space. All right, so we haven't raised it as high as we're going to. Right now we are at about 5 inches on the back, 5 to 6 inches. This can't go any higher, so this is one reason why I did all the nailing, is that now I can lower this because I also went to all 4 corners and moved those nuts all the way up so that all the weight's gonna be on 4 corners. All right. And I can now put about a 6.5 inch piece of wood in here, and that'll raise this again. All right, I went ahead and actually just screwed a new block on instead of cutting it. And we should be good to go again. Alright, so I already marked up this guy right here that has some overlap both sides. That should hold in place. I'm just going to go ahead and run a bead with the welder, which I have to get over here, and then yeah, we should be good. Cool. Alright, we got a tack weld in place. Just basically means that this guy's not going to go anywhere. Alright, update time. So, I didn't film everything because it was just a lot of welding and repetitive welding, but what we did was we basically ground a channel right here in this channel, and then was able to weld to the square tube. So we got weld on the bottom of the square tube and then weld up here. So it should be very strong. And now what I'm going to be doing is working on fitting the custom channels that I had made so that they fit into here. So this is going to be a very long and tedious project, but we got to do it. Alright, next update, and we are moving a little bit quick just because I'm getting tired of filming. I got most of these hat channels welded in. I ended up not doing all the work of cutting them out and making them flush. So they're kind of just lapped over, and I think that'll be plenty strong, especially there's a square tube in there, so not worried about it. The only ones I don't have done, on this side anyways, are the front pieces. I'm still waiting on that square tube from Metal Supermarkets. I'll cut these off at some point, and then we still have this side. But what's exciting is I am gonna go ahead and start working on putting that piece of metal up there, so that's exciting. Battery's dead. Got to do it the old-fashioned way. Well, would you look at that? We got some sheet metal up. However, this is just for test fitment right now. Obviously, we will use this, but we got to get all these in with self-tapping screws. All these holes on the bottom lined up pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. I gotta take that guy out, actually. All right, well, would you look at this? We got a side panel on. This is really exciting. It's starting to look like it's taking shape, and I'm super excited. All right, so I've been working off camera a lot and a little bit on camera that you just saw. Basically trying to finish up this section right here. And I'm really happy with it. It's not perfect. I mean, there's some rippling over here and definitely pushed out this way and it bows. But overall, it looks really close. And I'm thinking once I get the high build primer in there and sand things down, I can probably get it, you know, pretty smooth looking. So that's the hope. We'll see how that turns out once we do paint it. But as far as I think right now is all we have to do is fill in some of these holes, and then we can go ahead and actually put the panel in there and seal it up. Alright, so this is actually a follow-up video many months later. So what you were just watching was the full roof raise and the start of putting the sheet panel skins on. Things went really smoothly after that, but I think I lost some footage and then I got tired of filming because I needed to get things done before winter. But then winter came and I didn't get everything finished and I had zero motivation over winter and it was cold. So it is now the spring and I am back working on the bus pretty hard. However, we've done a lot since that filming earlier. So let me just go ahead and recap this video because I've been sitting on this for a long time and I just wanted to publish it. So let me just show you around. So this is what the interior of the bus looks like right now. We got the skins on and we got lots of bolts now. So I was using self-tapping screws, but what I realized was they were just kind of loose. I wasn't a fan of it, wasn't too happy. So I went ahead and replaced them all with bolts. And this side is literally 100% done. And this side I still have a few bolts missing here and there, but I'm working on it. We got the skin one up here. We got, you know, all the skins done. So this is super exciting. We got, you know, everything welded up here and also did a lot of wiring. So we put some new wires up here that run to the back of the bus for the lights in those three holes and, you know, those three holes. I also took off the lights up there. We're gonna replace them with clear ones and make them backup lights at some point. So let's go ahead and go outside. Ooh. And there it is. So it doesn't look too exciting because we haven't even painted, but like I said, I replaced all the self-tapping screws with the bolts. And so what I'm doing now is just getting this prepped and ready for paint. So now that we have all those in, I had sanded this right here, so that's why you see the black paint. It was just whatever paint I had on hand. I didn't want it to rust. So yeah, working on that. We took off the rear bumper just the other day, actually, so that we can fit. The hitch receiver. I am working on finishing up the door. So right now I just have 2 doorknobs that go in here, which is kind of dumb, but it works. So a lock will go here and the doorknob will go there. And I'm just working on the plate that should go here that these will attach into. So, like I said, this is the side that I'm still finishing up. Like that. And yeah, so it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm happy with it. That's the front, and then, you know, we still have some Bondo work that we got to do up there. And some fender work, and so we're getting pretty close to being ready to paint. The only thing I have to actually fully start is this door here. So I have the stuff inside the garage to start on it. And yeah, so hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you could see, you know, how you could do a roof raise if you decided you wanted to do a roof raise. Not saying this is the right way, not saying it's the best way, but it's a way that worked for me. So there's still a lot of work to do. Don't underestimate how much work it would take. Don't underestimate how much money you're gonna spend. So this cost probably several $1,000s when you add up everything, from buying tools to buying supplies to whatever. So just know that it's gonna cost a lot, but as you can see, we got a lot of headroom now. We can put a couple inches on the floor and then a couple inches up top, and I'll still have headspace. So I'm really happy about that. So the only thing that I have left is, you know, we have to get this bus inspected. So I gotta fix up some power steering issues, some brake issues, and then check all the brakes, make sure that everything's good to go. We gotta paint it, make sure all the lights and everything work properly, and then I think I can go ahead and get it inspected and registered. So once that happens, then we can go ahead and travel, even if, you know, it looks, you know, like this inside, that's okay. We can at least use it a little bit before we start building it up. So super excited. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it, and I'll catch you next time.